Hi, I'm Sue from Movement for Life, and in our third little edition of using your glutes with a bit more of a challenge, I'm going to use the triad ball between the legs. Now, the aim of the game is not to squash the ball. You almost want to be levitating on top of the ball. So that's what makes this exercise so challenging, because you really almost have to hold the leg and on top of it do exercises. So lying on your side, don't forget you need your pillow in order to stabilize the neck so that the head stays in neutral. From there, you're going to take the triad ball between the knees, so you form a right angle. Once again, you want to create that arc shape, and you want to visualize that from the armpit all the way down to your hip you have your masking tape and no wrinkles. You need your abdominals lifted up and in. So from there, we're going to lift and lower the leg. Now, the aim is not to see the ball moving forwards or backwards or being squashed as you rotate around the hip joint. So it's not necessarily how big the movement is, but it's how still, ironically, you are around the knee. So it's not the rest of the body moving, you're just trying to articulate in the hip joint. From there, you're going to take the triad ball away, and from there you're going to maintain that same angle, and you're going to do that same exercise again. So you're lifting the foot and lowering the foot. All the while you're trying to rotate around the axis of the knee, and all the effort is coming from the hip joint, which means that the bum cheeks have to fire. So I normally do about 10 repetitions of these. From there, keeping the leg parallel, I draw the knee towards your chest and then I extend it in line with the spine. So why am I doing this? Because if you run or cycle, the movement is about getting the abdominals to bring the knee towards the chest rather than the body towards the knee. This way you can stay upright and in extension, so your breathing and the width across the collarbones stays nice and wide. So I do about 10 of these, and these are about the most painful of all the sequences to do. If I could run like this for an hour, Mo Farah, watch out. From there, I give the leg a bit of a break and allow the top knee to rest. I then go to the bottom leg and I lift and lower. Once again, I'm trying to think of my knee muscle just above to do the lifting. I'm still staying lifted, would be very easy to collapse, so I'm still trying to stay long and lifted. And I do 10 of these. From there, I take the ball away and I bring the feet and the knees to 90 degrees. I'm still staying lifted, my abdominals are lifted. From there, I lift the ankle and I lift the knee to parallel. I lower the ankle and I lower the knee. So I'm lifting up, up, and down, down. Once again, I'm pivoting around my hip joint, which has to continuously rotate and mobilize. And of course, the glute is doing all of the work. And I do 10 of these. From there, to add a bit of a challenge, I come up and I create a V shape. My shoulder and my elbow are in line. I'm wanting to sit back almost like I'm sitting on a chair. My heels are still in line with the bum. From there, I'm going to project my hips forwards and I'm going to sit back. This really gets the glutes firing as I press forwards and backwards. So I'm moving from my hip and opening and closing my hip joint. I can add to the movement by lifting my arm, and I do 10 of these. So this is very similar to doing standing squats, but it's guaranteed that the glutes are doing the work and not the quads. So from there, I like to finish off with mermaid. So You want the feet and the knees on top of each other. I take the top leg slightly forward and I'm going to hold my hand across the ankle. The aim here is to create length from my sit bone through my armpit and up towards my fingertips. From there I'm going to lean over, so I should easily be able to feel the stretch down the side, which opens out in my back and also opens out in my hip. I then take the hand down and I can lean into it just to give a little bit more of a break and a stretch. I reach the hand up towards the ceiling, I side bend and breathe out. This hand is active and it's helping to pull me over to create the length. Hand reaches, just to give yourself a bit of a breather. Reaching up, breathing in, side bend, reach up and over, open out in the hip joint and in the back, and float the arm back down again. So you get to repeat everything on the other side. So step 1, lying. Once again, make sure you have your pillow and your feet are at 90 degrees with the ball between. From there, you're going to keep the ball nice and still, you're levitating, and you just lift and lower from the hip joint itself. So you're not trying to pop the ball, you're just trying to do some rotation. So obviously you can use any kind of ball. You could use a netball, you could use a softball, a soccer ball, football, just as long the ball is just there to provide the prop of how you have to maintain the distance. Doesn't need to be soft and squidgy ball, you can use a child's ball. So you're just trying to stay hip width apart and you're trying to focus on the rotation in the hip joint and the glute to do some work. From there, you repeat the exercise, only this time you take away the ball and you're trying to keep and maintain that equal distance. So you don't want to see the knee moving up or down or forwards and backwards. All the time you're trying to keep that neutral spine, so the tummy is lifted up and in. Think of that masking tape running down from armpit to hip. From there, draw the knee towards your chest and send the leg long. And send the leg long. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I'm trying really hard to use my abdominals to draw the knee towards the chest as I straighten and bend the knee. So as I bend the knee, my abdominals are working. As I straighten the leg, the abdominals are working. From there, I give the leg a bit of a break and I get the lower limb to do some work. From there, you lift and lower all the while, maintaining the abdominals up and in. 10 reps. I'm trying to think, not of my ankle doing the work, but the muscles just above my knees lifting upward all the time. From there, bring the knees back to each other, 90 degrees, and from there I lift the knee and the foot. Knee down, knee up, ankle up, knee down, ankle up. So I keep lifting, think of up, up, down, down. Once again, I'm trying not to move the leg too much. It just comes to parallel and then I drop it down, ankle down. So up and up to parallel and down and down. So you just once again try to rotate in the hip joint and it really gets those glutes firing. So from there I take the leg back and I'm going to work a little harder in the glutes. Once again, I want the heels in line with my bum and my hip bones are sitting, my hips are sitting backwards, and I'm going to squeeze my glutes and get the hips to come forwards. I add my arm to add the reach and it helps to project my hips coming forward. So once again, this really gets the glutes to do the work rather than the quads out of the equation, so that when you come to doing squats, standing squats, you can really think about getting the glutes to fire. From there, I like to end with a bit of a stretch and we do mermaid. So once again, hand on the hip, on the ankle joint, and once again I'm trying to think of reaching from my glute, my hip bone all the way up, and my armpit and my fingertips reaching up towards the ceiling, all in one straight line, and I reach over to one side. Now, very often you have one side that is far more flexible than the other. My right is always much harder, so immediately I side bend, I can really feel the stretch down the side and opening out into the hip. It feels great, painfully great, as in I know I need to do the movement. I reach my hand up towards the ceiling, stretching over, find the stretch to open up my back and my hip. I bring the hand down and allow myself to just counterbalance and stretch in the other direction. Last one, breathe out as you reach the hand overhead and bring the arm back down again and stretch. So I hope those were of a benefit for you. They're slightly more challenging than just lying on the ground. So if you haven't done the ground ones, make sure that you do those ones first and build up some initial strength in the bum cheeks. These are obviously more advanced, but if you're up for the challenge, give it a go and let me know how it feels. Thanks for watching.